April 6, 2025, first race of the ASRA 2025 series. This isn't in the Midwest, but here we go. Start of the GTL race. You will see one of the worst starts I ever get, and it's because of some calamity that goes on. So, little kids on the NS, whatever those are, the Milwaukee 250s, they're awesome. There's a guy, I see it out of my peripheral. The camera didn't catch it. I thought that guy was going to cartwheel. Somebody else did cartwheel, so it's going to end up bringing out a red flag, and it's really lucky for me because whatever the fuck I was doing on this start was not going to be any good. So luckily I got a gift and that we're able to do this thing again in a couple minutes. I have never been to CMP. Went down with a couple friends. They wanted to run the full Midwest series this year, and this would be a good opportunity for us to shake down the bike, shake the cobwebs off. It's the first time on a bike since October, and I've completely rebuilt my bike, rebuilt the engine since it died, and I didn't know what happened to it. And this would be a good opportunity for us to actually shake it down before we get our first real Midwest round at Pittsburgh in a couple weeks.
So I think I got about 6 minutes of red flag during this GTL race. As I'm watching the GTL footage, I do the thing I normally do. I watch the footage and I'm like, why the fuck are you slowing down so much there? And I got to step back and realize I accomplished every single goal I set out for myself for this weekend. So the last time we talked in this basement, the engine in this bike was still split into two. Never done a engine rebuild before, never split a case before. And it took me all of October until 2 weeks before we made it down to CMP to actually get it back together. Driving down there, it's a 15-hour drive in the middle seat of a Ram 1500. And I'm just thinking the entire time, what did I fuck up on the reassembly? And I couldn't think of anything, but you just can't get it out of your head. And had no idea if the bike would even run once we got there. But turned out everything on this thing worked perfectly. It's better than it was before. It came back completely unscathed, which is better than I did most weekends last year. The only thing that happened is somewhere I lost my little shark fin. I don't know where the shark fin went, but I assume it fell off during transport. But the bike ran fucking awesome. And it's basically the exact same engine as before. This is the engine that didn't shift. I could not shift this thing without using the clutch before. Took out the old transmission, put a new one in. I had a buddy come over. We literally could not find a difference in the two transmissions, but the new one works well, and the old one didn't work at all. So that's awesome. The other thing that I did on this bike is I put a lightened flywheel in it, and it spins up so much faster. It's not going to go outright faster in a straight line or anything, but it spins up so much faster. I put a new Penske 600-pound rear in it, which is probably going to take me a while to get used to, but I have a feeling I'm actually going to prefer that. I know there's a huge stylistic difference between if you want to go light spring or heavy spring or whatnot on those things, and I have a feeling I'm going to like the lighter spring more, but I won't actually know that until we get to a track where I actually have some data. And so we're going to Pittsburgh in a couple weeks, so this is really exciting. I don't have to rebuild this bike this time. Normally there's crash damage after last year that I have to fix, which it's not that I want to crash, but it happened a couple times last year. So this bike ran awesome. I'll talk more about the whole engine rebuild experience at some point, because I learned a whole lot. The other thing we rode this bike. We rode the Orange Pumpkin in the Endurance. I've never been on a bike for more than 25 minutes at a time. And even the GTL races aren't actually 25 minutes. It's 25 minutes of track time, so maybe 20 minutes. And we went down, and there's 5 of us on our team. 3 of us rode. I took the middle stint. I was so freaking nervous for this thing. I've never made more than 1 lap on this bike. Got this bike, did 1 lap at Road America. I knew it had issues, couldn't make it. It was all electrical stuff that acted up once it got hot. Well, I can't really test that when I'm here, but I changed everything, regulator, rectifier, coils, just a whole lot of electrical stuff, but had no idea if the bike that we're driving 15 hours one way to go run is even going to work. And this thing ran perfectly. Now, it didn't make it home perfectly. I didn't realize this until I got it into my basement, but it didn't make it home perfectly. So we finished in our lightweight endurance. We finished P4 of the 4 that were with us. We were the only ones that 2 stopped. Everybody else 1 stopped. But looking at the times, we weren't gonna actually be able to catch up to that next bike anyway. But I got to ride with some heavy hitters. I got to ride with somebody who has a ton of experience. He practiced this ton of experience and ton of race wins. He practiced this bike all Friday. Didn't even make too many changes to it, so I was happy about that. It runs like an SV. There was nothing wrong with this bike, and it made it the whole thing. Why I'm saying there's some issues now. We were 5 minutes from blowing this engine. I didn't realize it. Chris was saying that towards the end of the race, like last lap or second last lap, he saw what he thought was smoke coming out of it. Well, it was overheating like fucking mad. So it was blowing all the coolant out, and I'm looking at this now, and this is very silly. This reservoir comes right here, and it goes up a nice ramp and goes all over the battery. And then it comes all down there, and it goes all over there. And when I check the oil on this bike, this is an SV700, so it's got a 3 mil overbore, which I think is kind of stupid. It runs like a tractor comparatively. But it had maybe 1,500 milliliters of the 2,300 milliliters of oil that it's supposed to have. So I think we were damn near close to actually blowing this thing up. So there are some things I can do to fix this. I have a 1.6 bar Spears cap that I'm going to put on it. I forgot I even had that. I'm going to fatten up the jets on this. I think it's jetted too lean to begin with. It's got 150 mains on a standard carburetor for that bigger cylinder, and I don't think that's heavy enough, so I'm going to order some 155s. There's a couple other things I can do. I'm going to Dremel out a little bit more of the belly pan, try to get some more airflow. I don't even know if we're running the pumpkin again this year. The pumpkin looks gorgeous in the sunlight. You could see it across the track at CMP. I mean, it's an old style looking bike, but it's a very pretty bike. It looks a whole lot better than I had a buddy over yesterday that said I should replace all the goose stickers with rat stickers because I really do have a rat bike. We'll see. Anyway, I'm thrilled that this bike ran. I had no idea if it would. It had been 30 hours of driving to find out it didn't run, and it didn't turn out that way, so I assembled an engine correctly. So let's look at some more CMP stuff.
Okay, we're back to the restart. Not sure exactly where I'm starting. I don't know, probably like 9th or 10th. Qualified with like a 147. I still have no idea what's decent for a lightweight, but I know it's faster than a 147. I had it in my head, this is the one race I was doing on Sunday, that I wanted to hit a 146 on this day. So that's what I want to hit. I also don't want to get absolutely swallowed up on this start like I did last time. Missed shift there, but I should have put this into 4th, but I wanted to actually just run it deeper. So I think I get taken by one more. Alright, but it's not the swarm that got me last time. So obviously still learning this track. The tough part I found about this track was there's some visual markers that I'm really struggling to see. Specifically with the dog leg or the kink or whatever you call it. And then this track has 2 of the tailor-made type of turns that just kill me. I'm in one of them right now, which is the long extended right-hand carousels. I don't mind going to CMP to work on this because I have to get better at that. There's multiple tracks in the Midwest Series, specifically Blackhawk, which we run 3 times, that has a long extended right-hand carousel, and that's where I get swallowed up. There goes one of the Milwaukees. I think one of them, there's these 2 little guys running the whole weekend, and they're so damn fast, and it's crazy when they pass you. Obviously, I've been going with them in the practices and whatnot. They look like a little toddler bike right next to you when they pass you, and they're fast as shit, and these guys are awesome, and I'm pretty sure one of them won this race on one of these tiny little bikes running like 140s or something. But anyway, so here's the second of the long extended right-handers, and I'm not slowing down enough to set direction. And so I run those. I know that you see people run them differently, but I'm not running it like I think I should run it, and I never really did during this this race, but I didn't get destroyed on the first one. GTL is my favorite race of the weekend, always, just everywhere we go. It takes me a while to settle in, and I usually get stronger throughout a GTL race, so I've got pretty much the perfect carrot right in front of me, which is one of these awesome kids on the Milwaukees, and I'm just gonna see how long I can keep him in my sights. Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. It's one of those things. I hate looking at footage afterwards because it looks so different, especially on Jesus Christ. Especially on, you know, a standard camera angle right out the front. There's no lying. There's no fisheye lens. There's no 360 goofy-ass camera to make you look faster. It's reality. It's raw. It's what it is. And the fact is, I'm missing so much of this shit. Yeah, I can't be doing that. But anyway. Alright, so I've got my lap timer on this. I hadn't run the lap timer for the, this is the dog leg. There's a tiny little curb there. It is dark green and white. I can't fucking see that thing until I'm about 200, 300 feet from it. I finally went to a doctor. I haven't been to a doctor since I was 18. I've gotten guilted into this. So I went to a doctor, and I went to an eye doctor. I went to the eye doctor because I've been listening to all the Ken Hill podcasts, and so many people say they get faster when they correct their vision. Well, I figured out what I already knew. I have an astigmatism, and I can't fucking see at distance. My vision within like 50 to 75 feet is perfect. So I just thought everybody saw trees as green globs at a distance, but it turns out that's not actually the case. So I have glasses now. I'm going to be running this shit. I'm not going to run glasses. It's not going to help me for track this year, but I'm going to get used to the glasses. If I like the glasses for driving, I'm getting contacts because I think that's probably the next big leap I can take on track is getting vision better, because I'm backing off of corners, especially at places I don't know, like this one. So like all of this is new to me. If I could see better, I feel like I could actually go faster. All right, what were we talking about? Carolina Motorsports Park. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent about my, misguided health advice. Anyway, so unfortunately I'm losing a little bit of touch with that Milwaukee. But we'll see if we can try to catch up a little bit. That's a really cool turn. I think that one's turn 8, and you almost kind of, because it's uphill, he kind of loads the bike, so it just gets a ton of grip, but you want to make sure you're off of the trail braking at the right time, but not too early, because if you let off too early, you unload the bike before you actually hit that thing, before you hit the, I don't know, where the gravity kind of sucks you down to it, so it'll upset the bike. It's a neat corner. And then this is the one I just keep blowing it way out there. I'm going to try not to complain that much like I normally do in all my videos, because this is my first time here, so I don't even know what the corners are called. I don't know how many corners are on this track. A neat thing, which isn't actually that neat, that I learned about at Carolina Motorsports Park, is that they blow off the pollen. There's so much pollen that they blow it off in the morning and at lunch. Which, coming from where I am, I've never seen pollen like that. Like, we rented an Airbnb like 15 minutes from the track, wiped off the table on the porch first night, come back the next day, and it's just covered in the same shit. It's like, what the hell is it? Oh, it's pollen. Okay. All right. So this one I actually liked running further out because I thought it got me closer to the drive that I wanted from that, I guess, second apex there. I'm not sure if that's true, but I liked running that one a little bit wide. The second carousel towards the end of the lap, I wasn't intentionally running it wide like I was that one. It was just where the bike ended up taking me. So right now, I know that there's a bike close to me, because I can hear it. And I think it was right there. You can't see it on the camera, but somebody just cut me a giant break, so I missed a downshift going into this a little bit. I'm in fourth. but I'll come back to this one in a second. I know that somebody just cut me a huge break because I hate going through that dog leg next to somebody else. It's so fast. And I know that you could actually hit that thing flat out on a lightweight, but I can't. And if you're going next to somebody, it just leaves little room for error if one of you screws it up. So the fact that somebody backed out of it, it kind of told me that it was Sean that was next to me, which is the guy who was pitting with us. So now I know he's right behind me. I've run behind him before. This is pretty close to being his home track, and he's a really good rider. And I tried keeping up with him in practice a couple times, and I could do it for a lap or two, but eventually he would just walk away. So I know he's right behind me. He's in amateur, and I know he's going for the race win. But it's one of those things where, I mean, you cut me a break, but all right, you just spurred me on. I want to fucking stay in front at this point. So I think this ends up being my fastest lap of the race. So I ended up running like a 1:45.4 on this one, and then I think it was 1:46s for the rest of it. But just looking at it, it's the same old story. Every time you look at your race footage, oh, that poor little Milwaukee. So that bike ends up being off on the side for the rest of the race with just a waving yellow in turn 8. But it's one of those things when you get a guy behind you or right in front of you. So now I'm noticing there's this 400, which I thought it was a 400. You just want to go catch him. So you do run faster. 100% you run faster. And I don't know the lines around this place at all. So when I see a 400, and this actually turns out to be a CF Moto 450, and this guy's really good. Once you get closer to him, because I got the horsepower advantage so I can catch up on straightaways a little bit, you just try to follow him and you learn so much. So you're just constantly downloading data from other people on a place that you have no idea how to get around. So I think, what do we got here? Probably got like 2 laps left. Obviously it's in my head. I want to see if I can get around this bike. I think what I need to do is actually start slowing for turn 1 earlier, because what I'm doing is I'm running it wide. It's screwing up this turn 2, so you see I'm way out to the left, and it kills the drive through 4, and that 4 has an actual straightaway after it. So I should give up some of 1 so that I'm not killing 4. I know it just compounds that way. Okay, so at this point, I'm definitely thinking I'm going to be able to catch up to this guy. I think we're running, so waving yellow there, I think we're running like P7 overall. So the bikes that are in front of me are obviously really good riders. I don't know what a CF Moto 450 has, maybe 50 horsepower and I don't know what, 365, 370 pound curb weight, something like that. So it's a less powerful bike than mine. I probably got 72 horsepower, so that's why I'm able to catch him on straights. But you see this guy's quicker through the parts of the track that take actual skill, and I keep fucking blowing this turn. When you're leaned over that far, I gotta figure out how to actually hit that upshift a little quicker. Sean running behind me, I talked to him after the race, and he said, one of the things I'm doing, I'm braking too early for that last turn. He said that's one of the spots where he was catching me really, really good, is on that last turn. Dude, as soon as I see a leg dangle, I just want to get around him. Because I don't know how to do that. Dude, I'm full lock anytime I'm going into a turn. I can't let go of anything. The fact that somebody has the motor skills coordination to be able to drop a leg, kind of just like, I want to get around you. You see how much more inside he's able to hold that? Even if I want to, I can't. And it's nothing to do with the bike. It has to do with me not being able to execute on right-handed turns. So I'm actually going to go for this pass. And I think I would have been able to make this if I didn't fuck up this downshift. Which, alright, I fucked up the downshift. Probably going to get another opportunity, though. So he wasn't able to get the exact run into that he probably wanted to, because I compromised a little bit. All right, so I'm going to get through the dog leg a little bit before him. I'm slowing it down too much, but I don't want to hit that bump, which I hit once in practice, which was really scary. I just visualized the site of the crash I was about to hit, and I just let him by me again. So at this point, it's white flag. I know I'm not going to get around him again, but maybe we could try to keep it interesting. Because we're at a part of the track where better rider is just going to completely outride me, and that's exactly what he does. So he's going to be able to do that all the way to the end. I do have Sean right behind me. I think there's a picture that one of the photographers took. He's very close to being able to overtake me to the line, but he did end up taking the amateur win in this one, and I took it home. I don't know, whatever. I don't freaking know. So yeah, that was Carolina Motorsports Park. Made it through the endurance race, did 42 minutes on the bike, and learned a lot about myself during that one. Put a timer on that thing. Once we hit about 30 minutes, I was like, I'm honestly feeling pretty good. I was able to like back it down. I wanted to hit 150 to 151 the entire time, which isn't very fast, but that's what I thought would be all right. And I wanted to hand the bike off to the next guy and still have plenty of bike left for him to use. And then once we got to the handoff point, I thought Bruce was getting back on the bike, and turned out to be Aaron. Aaron just stepped up. I don't know if Bruce was just not ready to go. And Aaron, who had never even sat on the bike before, jumps on. And he runs an R7 with all the goodies. You know, the quick shifts, the slippers, all that kind of stuff. He gets on this old-ass dinosaur SV. First 3 laps, 151.1. And then 2 of them are 151.8s. And then he just kept getting faster and faster. And on the last lap of the race, ended up ran a 149 second last lap, and then a 148 to finish the thing. And I assume he saw something that pissed him off, because he just started fucking riding fast as hell. And it was awesome. Dude, I'm sold on the endurance stuff. I got to do a whole lot more working out, a whole lot more getting in shape to actually, get good at that. But I like the endurance stuff. So, yeah, if you watch my sad-ass attempt at trying to run around CMP, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching, but sorry if you were trying to learn something. New track for me. I'm not a very good rider to begin with, so that's what I got. You watched this far. Thanks for watching.
Oh, yeah. Sounds a little kicky.
They do. It's an SV.
They do that.
Did I get 150?
Oh, you got 149.3.
Every time bringing it in, you just kept looking ahead. I was like, all right. I'm sitting there going, okay, anything we gain by putting Bruce on, we're going to lose in the changeover.
No, you could have literally handed me the bike and I'd have been out of here. I'd have to do 2 laps to make it.
No sweat.